So the dust is settled from the transfer. We're a little into the, we're into the second quarter of the year, but I'm gonna meet with the presidents here in the coming couple weeks and let them know. The financial guys will come in and explain to them what we're invested in and get some hands-on work with the presidents so they are aware of where the funds are and where they're being invested. Folks, I had those long bidder notices. That's another project I've been working on. We're going to put curbing around the town hall and also repave the parking lot in the town hall. I think it'll be a nice addition to the environment around here. People pull off the pavement and into the grass, and it causes mud on the sides. I just think it's a good idea that we add the curb to the paving. FEMA's paying for the paving, the town's gonna pay for the curb. So we're gonna bid that out in the next coming meeting. Well, the first meeting in June, second meeting in June, we'll know who gets that project. Other than that, I've been working with the supervisor on the 200th year anniversary. We have meetings bi-weekly. It's going really, really well. We've got a lot of really good ideas for this coming year for our 200th anniversary. For those that don't know, we're 200 years old. So it's a really spectacular time for this town. Our first big event is going to be a veterans meal. We're gonna host a meal here at the town hall for all the veterans in town and their families to come, be served a meal, thanking them for their years of service, thanking their families for doing without them in the time of being overseas or whatnot. So we're gonna really put on a nice meal for those folks. So we're generating a list of all the veterans in town. And unfortunately, the assessor, of course, has all the information based on the exemptions, but it's private. So we're finding other avenues to find all these folks. So if anybody knows a vet, or if you are a vet, please stop in, shoot me an email, shoot the supervisor an email, and we can get you on the list and get you invited. We're gonna send out invitations, and it'll be on Veterans Day, and we really look forward to that. We've got a lot of other good ideas and events coming throughout the year, through the winter, into the spring, and in the next summer. So really stay tuned. We're gonna really celebrate this 200 years in style. And that's all I have this evening, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Boardman.
And thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I want to thank the board and the other board members here, including Zach, who's not with us tonight. Tremendous amount of perseverance this board is enduring with all the difficulties created in this particular building. I found something very interesting tonight. You guys all just sat here and you heard an elected public official tell you all the stuff she's not doing, not going to do for you, and you applaud it. That doesn't make sense to me. So that's all I have, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Keating.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Couple things. In regards to solid waste, there was an incident, just to let everybody know. There was an incident in town. Luckily, nothing horrible happened, but somebody decided to either have a fire at night, maybe a bonfire out back, not quite sure which. But Tony, the waste management route manager, received a phone call from one of his guys when he picked up the trash can. It was full of hot embers and coals in there. So obviously, as you can imagine, that went into the back of a truck. You would have had a bigger problem potentially. So if you have hot coals, please let them burn out. Dump water on them, put dirt on them, let them sit for a while. But just here's your public service announcement. Fire safety, folks. In regards to the emergency squad, I had the opportunity on April 27th to go down and check out the new ambulance that the Boston Emergency Squad is looking at from Government Emergency Vehicles. They've got a good deal on one. I'm going to be meeting with the supervisor to discuss options to help them out. But again, they're essentially looking at the demo model that Gorman has right now. They're getting a fairly decent deal on it for what it is. It has many more usable features than, let's say, a base model one. And speaking with some people that I know in other towns, and being a past ambulance person myself, the price isn't actually, in my opinion, all that bad. but that is something that we'll be looking at, for those folks. Some statistics that were provided to me, just so everybody's aware, to give everybody an idea where Boston Emergency Squad stands with our community and how valuable they are to us. From January to December 2015, Boston Emergency Squad had 14 simultaneous calls, which means both rigs are out there on the road or potentially being called out. They involved 3 separate calls and 37 auto accidents and 13 fire standbys. And again, this is where the potential to roll both ambulances would initially report to this scene and transport. This year, 2016, January to just this past month in April, Boston Emergency Squad had 15 simultaneous calls, again covered by both ambulances involving 3 separate calls, also 6 auto accident calls and 3 fire standbys, once again where the potential to roll both ambulances would potentially be out there. So having 2 ambulances that can be utilized at all given points in time, day and night, is essentially crucial to our community. Again, being a past member of an ambulance service where I grew up, north of Syracuse, we rely on volunteers. I know I've said this before at other board meetings, but they are looking for other volunteers. And without the men and women that actually volunteer their time, I commend these people. I mean, when you dial 911, we expect a response, and essentially that's what our community is. That's what any community is. So again, without these folks, and we would be in trouble. The closest rural metro transport is over in Scranton. You're easily looking at, if it was lights and sirens. I mean, I'll admit I'm a little bit of a lead foot. I'll admit it. But you're still looking at a 15 to 20 minute ride. If you have a heart attack, something where you need to intubate a person, that's not enough time. It's just not. And if the person isn't a first aid responder that gets to the scene quickly enough, again, they're once again waiting on a transport to a hospital. So again, that's my shout out to the Boston Emergency Squad. So thank you. Conservation Advisory Council, our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 11th. We'll be discussing our fishing derby, which is this coming Saturday. The registration begins at 9:30. This is just a reminder for any of the adults who bring any members of their family to it. It is a barbless hook and catch and release event only. We've got a bunch of prizes. The board every year has been very gracious and has always donated prizes. This year we've had some other town hall employees who have actually contributed to this. I was able to secure a sponsorship through Cabela's for the event, so we have a lot of great prizes. Should be a great event, so hopefully with the decent weather that's going to be present on Saturday, hopefully have a fantastic turnout. Past year's events, we've been well over 100 children registered, so it's getting bigger and bigger every year. We're definitely making a scene with that event. This week, I did receive a letter in the mail from Mary Jo Hallquist from the town of Eden. This week is Municipal Clerks Week, which is May 1st to the 7th, which is aimed at increasing the public awareness for municipal clerks and the vital services they provide for the local government and the community. Mary Jo had sent me a letter asking if I could read this proclamation, which is being read at all other town board meetings throughout the area. And here's what she had sent to me. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and a vital part of the local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens and the local governing bodies and agencies of government and at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality, impartiality, and rendering equal service to all. And whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center of functions of local government and community, and whereas the municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meeting of the state, Providence, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now therefore be it resolved that the Erie County, the Erie County Town Clerk and Tax Collectors Association, celebrating 50 years in 2016, hereby recognize the week of May 1st through May 7th as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extends its appreciation to the Boston Town Clerk, Jennifer Muley, and all municipal clerks for their vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. but not least, I did actually have an opportunity last week to speak to our dog control officer. He was recently audited by the New York State Agricultural Markets, and he passed with flying colors. Joe does do a lot for our community. He's out there day and night as much as he can. You also have to remember, anybody that works in a dog control position, very much like our EMS folks, they have a full-time job, they have families and other things. So I wanted to give once again kind of a shout out and congratulations to Joe for doing a great job for our town. I know he's dealt with a lot. He's told me some of the stories even before I came on as a councilman, and I think that it's definitely a testament to his hard work that he received that kind of report from the New York State Department of Agriculture Markets. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Keating. I agree, Joe does a great job, and ever since he became dog warden, he's always passed with flying colors and really took pride in taking care of the van and the equipment he has and upgrading the report, so he does a great job on it. Under the supervisor's report, received a email from a legislator's Mills office, and they were able to send one to John Anthon down here that they called today to check on the stream condition. They called it, the county has approved plans for the culvert replacement. I don't know if anybody realized about the flooding that we have down right near the old fire hall at North Boston. It was a mess. It got some houses, got some businesses, got I think part of the fire hall, got a bunch of people down there. So it's been approved for the culvert replacements. The next step is to be the bid process, and they will keep us on notice of that. Legislator Mills is trying to fast track that so we can get it done this summer and hopefully solve those problems down there. And then we will, once that's in, the town has discussed about going upstream and cleaning the stream upwards, all the debris, the branches and so forth. I've been with Highway Superintendent Telak and walked through that. The reason we held out on that is because it actually slowed the water down what was there, and we didn't want it to run faster toward these people. So once we get replacement, I'll be meeting with Highway Superintendent Telak and see what we can do up there. Also, projects that we've been working on within the town, myself, I've just bid out and we are putting in some new period, shuffleboard courts next to the bocce ball. Talked to some of the folks down there and they thought it was a great idea to use that second facility, so we're going to put in a shuffleboard court down there. We're going to be finishing some dugouts that weren't finished last year, as in concreting them to bring them up to par here too. So the old bleachers will be taken out down at North Boston on Meadow. We're taking out all those old bleachers, ripping everything out, putting some concrete in there and some new style bleachers there for baseball. Bob was gracious enough to tour with me this week. We went through, as we said, the drainage problem across the street here, and hopefully he started a little bit of work over there, but there's a long way to go. We need to fix how the person rerouted the water over there. Also at South Boston, last year we took out all the concrete underneath the facility and made it handicap accessible over there for wheelchairs and so forth underneath the shelter. This year Bob has agreed that his crew will blacktop that parking lot for us down there, so then we can stripe it and make it usable for handicapped people if they want to come and use that park too. Again, thanks to your crew in the highway for rolling and the guys putting the effort in there and bringing them over. As I said before, it runs hand in hand with parks and highway. They really do save the town a lot of money. This is an example, rolling all the fields. We are also bid out, and I signed the contracts, or I bid it out, signed the contracts for taking insulation out of the highway building. We had leaks over there, which created moisture on all that insulation, and with the roof being fixed under the FEMA money that we received, we are going to rip out 2 sections of the insulation and then reinstall brand new stuff. Boston State Road, I'm sure a lot of people saw this, just so I can clarify or answer any questions that anybody might have. The gentleman on the corner, or the family or whoever lives there, on the corner of Boston State, and I think it's Ripple. We've been notified of it, we're aware of it. Code has been down there, the troopers have been down there, and I think Cody informed Erie County Health Department on it too. So we're aware of it, we're moving on it, we just have to follow the proper channels on that. As in what the clerk said, she's absolutely right, we received the minutes, and the minutes are in there, but the minutes don't even have to be voted on or in the package, but we did receive the minutes. The package was given to my office. It is not my job to make the packets.
It's not mine either.
It's not my, you had your opportunity to talk, thank you. I respected when you talked to. So it is not my job to make the packets, although there are 2 part-time clerks hired by this town. They could have been given the job. I informed the clerk that she could have let the 2 part-time clerks make the packets for the gentleman, but they received no direction or
They were hired by
whatever to do with it, but there are 2 part-time clerks that are paid through the clerk's budget, and they could have made the package, so hopefully we'll be able to clear this situation up. We had an opportunity to talk about it downstairs, and moving forward, we'll be able to clear the situation up, where we can get the proper information to the town board members so they have opportunity to read it and make educated decisions on big projects like FEMA, or money being spent within the town and that, so hopefully we can get that taken care of. Also, we have the Memorial Day Festival coming up. Legislator Mills was nice enough to, it is his last year, I think, in office, and he will be our speaker here. So it is a really nice event put on by the town. So I hope everybody has the opportunity to attend it, and hopefully we'll have nice weather we had in the past. Other than that, I have nothing else to report at this time. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that.
Councilman Genzel?
Yes.
Supervisor Bello?
Yes.
Councilman Wardley?
Yes.
Councilman Keating?
Yes.
Carried.
No, just in case.